I mean, there's enormous pressure on these kids. As you mentioned earlier, the provincial championships are about to begin this week in the schools cup competitions. A lot of these kids believe that winning a schools cup medal is more important than anything in their young lives, and that includes, their leaving cert or whatever exams they're sitting.
It's like an Oscar for an actor. It's that big. I mean, there was a frenzy around school rugby.
Yeah, they're not discouraged from that thought by their teachers. If you look at the schools rugby model, if you like, it's based very much on the sort of high school American football model. From the high-fiving jock thing that you might remember from your own school days, Ryan.
Yeah, I was never a frat boy, though, I have to say. Go on.
Right down to the whole sort of... Even the very idea of teenage sports people as heroes or even idols among their peer group.
Somebody was saying to me that they were at a match recently and saw these teenagers, and they did look eerily like, as I said, like an uber mensch, this bizarre sense that these aren't of our kind.
They're a master race, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying. That they are this kind of... They're strangely big and brawny, and of course with a dollop of peroxide is the word I was trying to think of, and all that sort of look about them. But they're, at the risk of sounding like Old Man River, they didn't make them like that in my day.
No. I think that we have to. I think it's important to remember the pressures, as I said earlier, that these players are under. I remember covering schools rugby for the first time and couldn't believe that there were, a match in Donnybrook, there'd be 3,000-4,000 people at it, and there's 20,000 people at the final when it was in Lansdowne Road.
Yeah.
And what these kids do on the field is often, splashed across 8 columns in the Irish Times or the Irish Independent the following day.
Yeah.
So rugby really is their way, these kids' way of establishing their status among their peers.
Wants it in, the long pass. This is Kenny. Kenny's got Conroy outside him. Tries to link up. Conroy grounded. Terenure hold on to their 3 points lead. But it's still alive, and it's a chance for Belvedere. They've got to do it now or never. Keating's in. The try is scored, and Belvedere have scored the try that could win it. He's hit it beautifully. 14 points to 10. It is the last kick of the game. And Belvedere are through sensationally to the next stage of the Powerade Leinster School Senior Cup. Devastation for Terenure, who looked to have achieved a famous victory at Donnybrook. Belvedere 14, Terenure 10.
My very first address to the Past Pupil Union was a bit daunting. It was a very large turnout. It was a black tie affair in a very nice hotel. And on my way to the podium, some wise guy just made the crack at me on my way up, just win the cup, will you? So regardless of being the first lay head, giving my first address to all this, the first crack at me was win the senior cup.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of say that the school should be turned into a rugby academy nearly, because everyone's just so into it.
A lot of great players have come through Belvedere, like Tony O'Reilly and Ollie Campbell, and obviously Cian Healy at the moment is doing very well, so there is a very strong tradition in Belvedere.
There's an interest in being involved in the schools competition like never before, but certainly for the schools who've always done well, your Blackrock Colleges, your Clongos, your Terenures, your Marys, Belvederes, they've such a rich tradition and heritage going back over a century now in many, many cases. And I think that everybody who goes through the school is acutely aware of it when they go in.
It's gone back 100 and something years.
Since the school first started, I think it was always a main part of the school.
It's been kept alive as well, with the cups kind of being a bit sporadic, the traditions always uphold it.
I suppose since its foundation, when it started as a very, very small school, we're approaching its 175th year, or it's actually in its 175th year, it set out to do a special thing, which was about which was novel at the time, the overall education, not just an academic education, but the education of the whole person.
Well, I think rugby is one of the most important things in the school because, as I said before, like going to a cup match, everyone's there. Like you're almost forced to go, which is a very important thing.
I honestly can't think of anywhere comparable, and I've been fortunate enough to tour the world as a player, as a journalist, and I haven't seen any. And anybody who comes here, they're just blown away by the competitive nature, by the atmosphere, by the interest. It's a phenomenal competition, and I know occasionally it gets some adverse publicity, and for the life of me I don't know why, because it's just, for me, it's rugby purity at its best.
I went on to play for O'Belvedere, captain O'Belvedere, play for Leinster, captain Leinster, play for Ireland. I went on tours with Ireland. I was very fortunate to be on the Ireland Triple Crown winning team of '82, the first Triple Crown that Ireland have won for 33 years. I went on 2 Lions tours, one to South Africa, one to New Zealand, but none of those experiences surpassed the experience of being on the cup winning teams of 71 and 72.
Since came into the school in first year, like just want to wear the black and white week in, week out, like, and even if that's on the A's, B's or C's, I don't think it really matters for most people. It's just getting a chance to actually put on the colours and doing this college proud, like.
Clongos are looking for the double. Belvedere says no! We'll chop the wood on Sunday! 3 cheers for the team, 3 cheers for the coaches, and 3 cheers for Belvo! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
I think if somebody asked what is Belvedere, you could just show them Phil Conway.
Yeah.
He'd answer the question. Like, can't say any more
Not
about
a bad word about him at all. He's always encouraging people and always gets the best out of people as well. And you can even see it in the assemblies, nearly crying. Like you can see what it means to him, and you just know you just can't let him down.
Well, I feel for the boys on the team, and I feel for the young lads looking up at the team. And maybe I choke a bit. Maybe I'm not a good speaker. I'm not sure, but yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that these boys go out and do their best. That's all you can ask, and to try and get that message across. Yeah, very good. So,
hi, I'm David Regan and I'm 13 and I live in Malahide, and we went on Saturday or Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday against Clongowes.
And when did you come to Belvedere?
This year, first year.
And have you been playing rugby?
Yeah, I'm on the C team, D team.
For now?
For now.
Phil is the icon in the system because he's an Olympic sportsman himself. He knows what it is to be sporting. He'd also be very good in terms of being an educator, saying to the lads always, don't neglect your education. You know, there's too many guys who neglect it and they have nothing to show for it. You know, you get an injury or something happens. That's the end of it, unless you have your education to fall back on. So I think he brings a great balance to that. But there's no doubt about it. His emotion and his sense comes clearly across at the assemblies. You know, the voice chokes, the ears well up. He can get that crowd to really rise into nearly, a euphoria. Unfortunately, I get to do the follow-on act, which is to say, right now, lads, having done all that, you better behave yourselves, which is the graveyard shift. But at the end of the day, that's my job. And that's what I was supposed to saying in terms of what's my role. No, my role isn't a coaching role. My role isn't head games master or something else. My role is to be the totally committed supporter of it, to hear what they're asking, to listen carefully, to be the critical friend sometimes.
These are moments when you actually really sense the kind of unity of the college, the sense of black and white. I always say to you, we go out there with pride, not with arrogance, with pride. You've seen the notices round there. Be in the stand. That's the first thing I'm saying to you. Be there. You don't have an excuse. Be there. Our team is going out representing the college as sportsmen. We compete to win. We compete to give everything we have, to work to the best of our abilities, as all the teams do. You have a role in that. Our team should hear you right throughout the match, all the way through. You can be guaranteed Clongowes Wood supporters will be out to drown you out. They will be there for their team. I don't want to hear them. I need to hear you, and more importantly, the team needs to hear you the whole way through the match. Tom and the lads, I know I'm going to be back here that night celebrating with you. But all the way through it, don't doubt for a second that we're there with you all the way. The very best of luck. May you win.
The kick was effectively blocked. The referee blows his whistle for half-time. Fascinating first half, all to play for in the second half. Clongowes 7, Belvedere 5. Belvedere tried to keep it alive, but this Smith into injury time. Belvedere marking it down the short side, and a great run this by Jared Mullen. Can he go? He's in! John Conroy gets the try. Showed tremendous balance and strength and tremendous pace as he went over for the try in the very last minute of normal time. 12 points to 7. Belvedere back from the dead, as it were. Belvedere staring victory, and Clongowes push and push. We've had 6 additional minutes have been played, but there's going to be a sin binning. And the Belvedere captain Tom Sexton has to go off as Clongowes now with an advantage of the extra man up front try to force the way over, getting ever closer to the Belvedere line. They're that much away from a draw. They drive on the inside, they're up to the line almost. The ball is there, the drive is on. Players dragged away. Whistle goes, the ball held up. And the final whistle sounds, and Belvedere have withstood the challenge. An amazing try by their winger John Conroy, clinching it for Belvedere. The final score at Donnybrook, Clongowes 7, Belvedere into the final, 12.
I think Tony O'Reilly, just to say about the significance and the importance of the Leinster Senior Schools Cup. He wrote a piece in 2005 in his own newspaper, the Sunday Independent, that the Leinster Senior Schools Cup final day is one of the blue ribboned annual sporting events, not only that takes place in Ireland, but that takes place in the world.
Just the assembly, like when Phil Conway's big booming voice just calls you down, and like you're walking forever and nearly get a standing ovation at the end.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's really
unbelievable.
That's made my time in Belvedere, I think.
Whether you want to think about it or not, like you are, well, especially us in the senior cup, like you actually are someone's role model in first year. Not being big-headed, but you actually are. Like, no one ever tells you that. So.
Because it was the same for us, and we were in their years, like looking up at the senior cup lads, thinking they're the top stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like you walk around the school and like the first years and stuff, but you're sort of oblivious to that in a way. Like you don't really notice how you're not aware of how much of a symbol you are because you're just trying to get on with your job. But
quite simple to say to you. We gather here always to celebrate. We are celebrating far more than just being in the final. We're celebrating far more than actually the aspiration and determination to win that final. We're celebrating the fact that you are Belvedere College students. So on Sunday, make absolutely sure, from the moment only in God is sung, when the hairs rise on the back of your neck and you feel that sense of pride, from that moment to the moment when Tom Sexton is presented with the cup, if you
I think that the expectations of them for the rugby is too much, I think we deliberately made the life-saving. Guys have been in the class for 9 classes, they came into life-saving, and I didn't want it like a class. So I made it deliberately relaxing and at ease, and it's really worked. I tell my life-savers, go out and if you lose, what about it? We're having a party tonight, whether you win, lose or draw. Go out and enjoy it, and relax, and they can give their best. They can rise to it. I mean, I remember Father Maloney, he had a big picture in the yard of the cup. And he said, this will be ours on the 17th of March. And I said, for God's sake, will you take that down? You're putting pressure on the guys. And I mean, I was annoyed. I remember one time he met them and they were all in the gym at the whole school was there and they were being interviewed. And he said to me, you have 2 minutes to talk about the life-saving. I looked at him and I said, but we're the only ones we won. We won 5 cups last. You have 2 minutes, he said. And it was 20 minutes for the rugby guys who won nothing. And I said, you know,
no other sport like table tennis, swimming, life-saving, all that, like none of them got the atmosphere behind them where like, you know, rugby really brings everyone together.
Because of rugby in the school and because of the competition that it is different, for example, to the Millennium Cup. We've won the Millennium Cup in soccer this year. Marvellous achievement. Fantastic level of soccer being played against a school that played in the Leinster final. So you're looking at a group of guys who played at that level. And should they get the same recognition? That's probably an argument that they would have and say, yes, we should. But does it excite the same thing? No, it doesn't. If you go to the sidelines of the soccer, you don't have that volume of people. You know, if you go to a final, you could have anything up to 20,000 people at a schoolboy final. That's a large number of people, of past pupils, of parents, of outside interested people just actually at this game. So in terms of then what its preparation and social significance for us, it is the opportunity to gather the whole school together and actually say to them, look, your job is to be with totally respectful support.
I have a dream that we will score more points on Sunday. I have a dream that we will walk across O'Connell Street Bridge and the Liffey with silverware back to the north side. I have a dream that the whole school will assemble at number 24 North Queen Georgia Street and walk 217 meters to Belvedere House. Thomas Sexton will bring it through the whole door and Operation 010 will be a success. This team can make that dream a reality.
I said to a guy recently, I said to him, oh, so you were on that cup team that was beating you. I said, some good people said it takes 2 weeks to get over it. He said, I haven't got over it yet. That's about 6 years ago. Well, that's a pity. I said, for God's sake, don't you joking me? No, he said, I haven't got over it yet. Well, I said, that's something wrong there. So I think there's too much on winning and not enough on playing the game and enjoying it. Now, Sunday could be a wonderful match, but there'd be tension. I feel like saying to the players, for God's sake, relax. What does it matter?
Yeah, like I'm not going to say you don't feel the pressure, you do. It's a very tough thing to handle at our age, I think, but like, now you just have to get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, but it's not negative pressure. It's all trying to just push you on to do your best, you know, do the best for the school, and really just kind of spurs you on, really.
But I'd say where the pressure comes from is the boys' own massive expectation. They expect more of themselves. Like when we lose a match, you often hear that saying, you didn't want it enough. And like when it comes down to that, when it's no longer you weren't skilled enough, or you weren't ready, or you had too many injuries, when somebody says to you, you didn't want it enough, now you're down to it being personal. And that's where I think it really comes to the expectation is they must want it enough. They must really feel that. And fine, if they lose and they lose fairly and they gave it their all, then they're at ease. They can say, I tried my best. But if that's not there, if they lose because they felt they didn't want it enough, there's no coming back from that.
Let's hear it like it's never been so before. Only in God. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Only in God is my soul at rest. In Him goes my
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome St. Mary's College. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Belvedere College.
Terry did well here, and this looks like a good drive. 20 into the 22. Support inside. It's going to be a try, and a beautiful try for Brendan O'Connell. St. Mary's have it now. Look for support outside. Bent again is grounded. Nolan now, Considine. Long one out, and this is Walsh. Chance here for Belvedere to get to the line, they get over. Try is scored just before half time, and are those supporters thrilled? Very well worked down the right hand side. The St. Mary's defence breached. So Peter Sinnott, who has shown himself to have beautiful technique as a kicker, from 5 metres inside the St. Mary's half, with the wind behind him. He's got the distance, he's got the direction, he's done it and extended the lead. 11 points to 5, Belvedere leads St. Mary's. Into injury time. Time ticking away. Belvedere 11-5 to the good. They're forcing Belvedere back. They're almost at the line. They're only a metre out, but we've seen Belvedere withstand this sort of pressure in the first half. Can they keep it as St. Mary's drive for the line? Eventually, I suppose it had to come. But St Mary's get the try, and now Dara Fitzgerald has this kick to put St Mary's in front. Dara Fitzgerald will remember this for the rest of his life. Doesn't get it. But the referee blows the final whistle, and the 2008 Leinster Schools Senior Cup goes to Belvedere.
One thing that I learned from participating is that dreams can't come true. Like, you always hear celebrities with all their money saying, yeah, you can't achieve your dream, but never actually do. And that was one of my dreams, to win the Senior Cup. And I did it, and you know, it's not going to stop me from doing anything else. Just saying, oh, I've won the Senior Cup, that's it. Like, I'm going to go on and, you know, try my hardest to. I want to be a rugby player, so I want to try my hardest to get to the top and be the best. I'm just not going to stop. The Senior Cup has showed me that I can do it.